Hello! Welcome back for Svadhistana Chakra. So, today I'm going to read from a couple different books. Actually, let me grab the other one. I'm going to read from a couple different books. I'm going to put you in that chair today. Going back and forth. Thank you. Yep, switching chairs every time.
Hi everybody, I'm Brian.
I'm Ann. You're going to need 2 chairs for today's practice. So this is a 2-chair practice. So, about the chakras, I read from the Jnana Samhita last week. This week I'm going to read from The Key Muscles of Yoga by Ray Long. This was written in or published in 2005. I just want another perspective on chakras. So, the chakras are the subtle energy centers of the body. Like pinwheels, the chakras spin at the speed of light, emanating the colors of the spectrum, each resonating with a particular frequency. These colors combine to form the auras, here's an image, that surround each of us, connecting us with each other and with the cosmos. Here's a much more dramatic image illustrating that. There are 7 to 8 major and numerous minor chakras in the body. Their locations correspond to the regions of the body where nerves collect and electrical energy and activity is high, such as the brachial and sacral plexi, major chakras, and the elbows and knees, minor chakras. The flow of energy in the chakras can become blocked by life events through the activity of the autonomic nervous system. For example, when we habitually assume a defensive posture in response to negative stimuli, we block the flow of the energy in the chakras. Specifically in that case, the heart chakra, because you're like this all the time. Hatha yoga counteracts this and re-illuminates the chakras, stimulating them to spin freely. And then I'm going to read a little bit about Svadhisthana Chakra, the sacral chakra, from this book, Asana Pranayama Mudra Bandha. It's a Bihar School of Yoga book put out by the Bihar School of Yoga guy himself, Swami Satyananda Saraswati. Satyananda was a student of Shivananda who brought yoga to the West. So, cool Indian guy. In this, it says, Svadhisthana Chakra, approximately 2 fingers width above Muladhara Chakra, which we did last week. So there's Muladhara, there's Svadhisthana, right at the tip of the coccyx. In the spine is the concentration point for Svadhisthana Chakra. The literal meaning of the word Svadhisthana is one's own abode. The Sanskrit word sva means self and stan means dwelling place. This chakra is symbolized by a crimson lotus with 6 petals. In the center is a white crescent moon. It is the water element that is within the Svadhisthana Chakra. And the bija mantra or seed sound of Svadhisthana Chakra is Vam, which we'll come back to at the end of class. Svadhisthana Chakra is associated with seeking pleasure and security. It is also associated with the tongue and pelvis. In Svadhisthana, the emphasis is on overcoming fear and on enjoyment and pleasurable sensations. On a deeper level, Svadhisthana is the seat of the individual and collective unconscious. It is the storehouse of all samskaras, past mental impressions stored in the form of archetypes. It is the center of humankind's most primitive and deep-rooted instincts. And to give you a visual of what these lotuses look like, I didn't bring this last week, but here we have all the chakras as they are portrayed on this lovely piece of linen. So this is Muladhara Chakra from last week, the 4-petaled lotus with the circle and triangle here. This week it is the 6-petaled lotus. It's crimson or orange colored, Svadhisthana Chakra, with the crescent moon inside of the center of the lotus. So, without further ado, Ujjayi breathing. I just did a little half Ujjayi as I sat down there. Ujjayi breathing is the ocean breathing of yoga. Can you say a little bit?
Sure. Some classes you'll hear teachers describe Ujjayi breathing as ocean or wind breathing. Some will even say it sounds like Darth Vader. And what it is a slight constriction in the back of the throat so that the breathing becomes more audible than normal. So it's kind of like, I'll give you an audible demonstration. Sort of sounds like this.
I'll give it a whack too.
I'm not sure if you hear it all the way over there. But
maybe if I come up by the microphone. Here we go. So it's kind of like when you're a kid and you're fogging the windows in your parents' car going, but you're doing that with your mouth closed. Sometimes you'll let out a deep sigh, but with your mouth closed, or you'll hear a pet, when it's sleeping, it'll inhale deeply and then go, excuse me. So with that is Ujjayi breathing, or ocean breathing, or Darth Vader breathing, or whatever you need to call it. If you're dealing with allergies, it might be very easy for you to do this breath as it is for me right now. So let's practice a little Ujjayi breathing. Just sitting back in your chair, nice tall spine. You can sit against the back of the chair as long as your spine is long. And just try to even out the inhales with the exhales as if it's this never-ending circle of inhaling, maybe for a count of 3, and exhaling for that count of 3. Like the ebb and flow of ocean tides. Some qualities of Svadhisthana as the water element is that it's water, it's smooth, it touches everything, it's self-adherent. It comes down to the lowest place, it follows gravity, it doesn't push against, it doesn't flow against gravity. Svadhisthana Chakra is a place to build and store confidence. This is the storage house of the body. Some people call it the junk drawer of the body. This is where all of our memories, past experiences, everything hangs out in the hips, as well as genetic memories, ancestral memories. All of that stuff is still there. That is where our reproductive organs are, and that is where we pass on our DNA from, but also where our DNA is housed. So let's start off with some ankle rolls, knee rolls, ankle stuff. We're still working with everything sort of below the waist. So when you're ready, extend your feet, flex the feet, point the feet. We'll go back and forth like this. You can inhale, flex, exhale, point. If you want to key in your Ujjayi breathing at any point in this practice or for the whole practice, feel free. And then maybe try flexing one foot and pointing one foot. Try flexing the other foot and pointing the other foot. Flex both feet and turn them out to the side like a duck. Maybe turn them in like a pigeon, still flexed. And point your feet out to each side like a ballet dancer on their tippy toes. And then maybe turn your feet in the way a ballet dancer should never do. And then from here, we'll just draw circles with the feet. So warming up the ankles in the Gulf Chakra. That's the name of this movement. Chakra means wheel. So sometimes yoga poses will be called something chakra, like Chakrasana, which is wheel pose, that's a back bend, or Gulf Chakra, what we're doing right now, which is ankle wheels, ankle rolls, basically. When you're ready, switch direction. Taking those ankle rolls the other side. I'll let you do these. I'll tap my head off if we don't watch out.
No, it's good to have a lot of info.
Maybe too much.
So when you're ready, you can just release the legs. Maybe tap out the feet on the floor. We're going to come maybe to the edge of the chair, and you maybe open out one leg a little bit. Pick up one of your legs, and we're going to draw circles, like we're drawing a circle with the foot. So we'll go a few times in one direction, try to sit up nice and tall here. And when you're ready, you can switch the direction that you're making that circle. And then you can release that leg shake it out, stamp it out if you want to. We're going to pick up the other leg and do the same thing. It's like drawing a circle with our foot. And when you're ready, switch the direction that you're making that circle. And when you're cooked, you can snap them out, shake them out.
So at this point, come to seated pretty far forward on your chair, and you might want to grab your second chair and have it nearby. And in fact, I'll have you hold that in front, and I'll kind of go to the side. So watch Brian from the front. I'll show you what's happening from the side. So from here, open the knees as wide as you can. And then, you might have to sit back a little on the chair to do this. Walk the hands onto the chair in front of you. If you can bring the hands all the way down to the ground, feel free, letting the crown of the head work its way towards the ground. It's not obviously going to touch the ground, but you want the chin tucked here. And just inhale deeply here, whether your hands are on the chair or on the ground. And exhale. Inhaling and exhaling. Now with these legs nice and wide, it's pretty hard to hold up in Mula Bandha, that root lock that we talked about last week. But give it a try. Lift from the tail on an inhale maybe, and then exhale, release. You'll find it's a lot easier to keep that root lock open here as you're folded forward. Now if your hands are on the ground, let's bring the hands to the chair and just let the upper body rest parallel to the ground now. Lengthening through the spine, take a deep inhale, lifting through the root. And then exhale, releasing through the root. Now keep that release and do a deep inhale again. And then as you exhale, see if you can lift through the root on the exhale, and then release. So just breathing deep here on the inhale, maybe feeling the belly pressing into the chair or the legs, and exhaling. And then when you're ready, walk the hands back up the chair. Hips are already nice and open. This might feel like a lot at this point. So we're going to pull the second chair towards us, and depending on your body, we'll bring one leg up onto the chair and fold forward from here. This may be a very dramatic stretch for you, so feel free to experiment with the positioning of the chair. It might be easier with the chair closer or easier with the chair further away. If your body lets you, bring the second foot up on the chair. Otherwise, just keep the first one on. If both feet are on the chair, we're folding forward over the legs here in bound angle pose, Baddha Konasana. If you have one foot on the chair, just keep folding over that leg. Breathing deep here, opening up through the hips, through Svadhistana. I like to think of Svadhisthana as, so what is down there? What is hanging out in our hips? Svadhisthana. When you're ready, if one leg is up on the chair, switch legs. If both legs are up on the chair, just breathe into it. And fold forward. Yowza. You'll be feeling this on the back of the hips, the gluteus medius, the hamstrings maybe. Maybe the psoas muscles get a little something too. And then when you're ready, wherever you are, whether one leg is on the chair or two, we'll come back up, move the chair out of the way. We're done with it for now. No, we're done with it for the whole class. And then open the feet kind of wide. Brian's going to talk us through Goddess.
So you can come sort of to the edge of the chair and open up your feet, open up your legs, your knees, your hips as wide as you can comfortably go. Feet are pointed out. And then let's take our arms out into a T. Let's flip the palms face up, bend at the elbows, facing the head, the hands towards the head.
And again, you can engage Mula Bandha here, lifting from the root, but don't hold all your energy at the root. Release the energy at the root, but keep that lift through the spine. We're going to go from India to Egypt for a minute here. Turn the palms to face the center of the room in Kai. This is from Kemetic Yoga. And the knowledge of Kemetic Yoga dictates that the positioning of the elbows is a reflection of the energy of the body. If the energy is low, the elbows might be a little below the shoulders. If you're feeling nice and strong energy is at the shoulders or above in Kai. So nice tall goddess, and then when you're ready, hands will come palm face down onto the knees, fingers pointing inwards. We'll lean forward a little here, don't fall forward. We're going to inhale the center, exhale, twist to one side. Inhale, center, exhale, twist to the other side. And we'll just go back and forth like this for a minute, inhaling and exhaling. And it's a great time to tap back into that Ujjayi, ocean breathing. Couple more of these. And then next time you inhale, we'll come back to center. We're going to come into seated warrior one. So from here, let's turn the right heel to the right. So feet are pretty much pointing the same way. You'll want to turn the left toes out a little bit so the left foot is parallel to the front two legs of the chair. From here, we're going to scooch on the chair a little bit, bringing the right leg so that it's kind of in front of the chair. Left leg can be sitting sort of on the left side of the chair here. From here, so you'll see me from the front, Brian from the side here. We'll inhale, arms up overhead in our nice tall warrior one. Then let's bring that back foot, that right foot to its toes, coming into a lunge. So now that right leg is mostly off the chair and you're really just sitting on the chair with the left hip and the center of the pelvis. Let's exhale, hands to heart center, lifting the heart here. We're stretching through the right psoas muscle as well as the abdomen and side body in our standing seated chair lunge. Breathing deep, heart points up towards the ceiling, hips are open. When you're ready, we'll bring that right heel back to the ground, returning to our goddess pose for a second. I'm going to turn my chair around so you can see what I'm doing here. This time, let's turn the left heel out to the left, right toes to the right just a little bit. So the left leg is kind of starting to come off the front of the chair. The right leg is the right hip is supported by the right side of the chair. We'll inhale, arms up overhead, orienting the body over the right leg. So we're facing the right here, just like we were facing the left on the other side. Inhale deeply. Exhale, palms to heart center. Come up onto the toes of the left foot, coming into lunge. So now the left leg is pretty much off the chair. Right leg is on the chair. And the chair is supporting the right hip and the center of the hips. From here, we'll inhale, heart up, hands still at prayer. It's okay, we love it all. When you're ready, exhale, bring that left heel down, coming back to our goddess briefly. We'll bring the legs together in front of you. Yeah, and then let knees rock side to side. Give the hips a little break here. You might need to hold the edges of the chair. And then when you're ready, we'll come to standing. And so maybe give yourself some space. We aren't going to take up a ton of space here, but skeletal shaking. What can we say about skeletal shaking?
Skeletal shaking.
AKA floorboard squeaking.
No wrong way to do this. Just shake the body. You can do it you can shake one arm at a time, or one leg at a time, or jump up and down. Just shaking everything up. This is great for
mood elevation.
Mood elevation. It's great for
build strength in the bones.
build stronger bones, releasing any stuck energy, stuck chi.
Releases somatic tension, stress in the body. Sorry. Great way to smack your neighbor too.
Mm-hmm.
Not that that's the goal. Ahimsa, non-violence. Let's see the what? No.
Good.
When you're ready, let's bring that shaking to stillness. Take the feet pretty wide, like wider than the chair's foot width. And Brian's going to teach us some hip rolls.
And we're just going to make big circles with the hips. You can go slow and exaggerated as you want, or you can, make this you can shorten the stance and maybe not go as wide and make it a little more gentle if that's what you need.
You can envision the hips like a great big bowl of water or even a vast ocean, and just imagine you're swirling all that energy around as you swirl the hips here.
And when you're ready, let's switch the direction that we're drawing those hip circles. And when you're ready, you just bring it back to center.
And we'll bring the feet a little closer together, about hips width distance, which can be between 6 and 12 inches between the feet. The feet are parallel, like the number 11 I'm showing from the side, Brian will show from the front. We're going to stick the tail out and then tuck the tail. Stick the tail out, tuck the tail. Or you can turn this into a movement of the lower abdomen if you don't want to use the tail to guide this movement here. So lifting through the lower abdomen and releasing. Lifting and releasing. Back and forth. Yogi's choice. From here, this very subtle movement through the hips, we're going to bend one knee and then the other to allow this movement to evolve into a little tiny hip roll. It's like the hip rolls we did before, but just a little smaller circumference of the circle. And then when you're ready, we'll switch direction, taking those hip rolls the other way. Figure eight. Will you teach the figure eights? Thank you.
And when you're ready, you can just bring this back to center. Feel free to shake it out if you want a little bit. We're going to do some figure eights with the hips. So we're going to step out a little bit wider, maybe hips width distance. We're going to take
wider than hips width distance.
Or wider, and we're going to make figure eights. What I do is I take my left hip from back to front, and then the other one back to front. So we're just going back and forth, making these figure eights with the hips.
For some people, this might be easier if you start involving the shoulders. So maybe you're doing this sort of backstroke kind of motion. Hands can be on the shoulders if that feels good for you, or hands can stay on the hips and you can just draw one shoulder back and then the other, letting the hip follow the shoulders.
And I kind of described that wrong. I said back to front, but I'm going front to back this time around. And we will change it to back to front in a minute.
It's okay, no one is judging you. I hope.
I don't care.
When you're ready, shake it off a bit, reground yourself. Hip rolls can kind of get me up in the air a little bit.
And then we'll take the hip from front to back front to back. Wait.
Back
no,
to
no,
front.
back to front now. Oh my God, I'm getting all mixed
Back
up.
to front.
Back to front. Back to front. Back to front. And if you want to get the arms involved, now it's like you're swimming forward, and the arms
Freestyle.
the arms follow the hips, or the hips follow the arms. However you want to do it, however you conceive of it.
So yes, they can be swimming forward, you can have hands on the shoulders here, or you can just keep the hands on the hips and let the shoulders move you forward like this. When you're ready, we'll shake it off a little bit. So because we're still working with the first two chakras, the below the waist chakras, Svadhistana, Muladhara, let's return to last week's Baitak squats, Hindu wrestler squats. You can do 1, you can do none, you can do 100, but please be gentle on yourself. I recommend do no more than 10 because it's very easy to overdo. So I'm going to show these from the side. Brian's going to show from the front. These are just half Baitaks. We aren't going down really, really far. Feet are about hips width distance and parallel. I'm going to inhale sitting down. Exhale, stand back up. Inhale, exhale. Legs are parallel here, so knees are tracking right over the feet. Great time to check back in with Ujjayi breathing. And when you're ready, a couple more if you want. And we'll come back up to standing. Take the feet wide. We'll do some more hip rolls here. That movement of Baitak builds a tremendous amount of strength through the legs, but also can tighten the psoas muscles, which connect at the low back and then wrap around inside the legs and connect at the lesser trochanter. Those are the little knobs at the top of our thigh bones, at the top of the femurs. When you're ready, switch direction, taking those hip rolls the other way. So movements like this help to stretch the psoas muscles back out when they've been spending time crunching. And a little more shaking always helps too. When you're building muscle, it's good to keep things supple, and that's where shaking comes in. Plenty of strong people can lift weights all day long, but can they touch their toes? That is the question as we do up downs, which Brian will show without a chair, and I will show with a chair.
So this is just like we're doing like the first couple of movements of a sun salutation. It's like an abbreviated sun salutation. So standing with hips, with feet, hips width distance, parallel, so they're both facing in the same direction, like the number 11. You take your hands to the hips or the back of the lower back. You can have fingers facing up or down, doesn't matter. Let's keep that tailbone tucked to protect the low back and keep strength and elongation in the posture. Also, feel free to keep a little bit of softness in the knees so we're not locking our knees at any point in time. Hands come to the back or the hips. We're gonna look up, open up the shoulders, open up the chest, maybe even back bend as much as is comfortable for you to do. And when you're ready to exhale, we'll roll over, we'll bend over, hands will come down the legs towards the feet, come down as far as you can go. And again, and then when we inhale, we're gonna come up, hands come to the back or the hips, opening up, back bending, exhale, folding forward, hands come towards the feet.
So if you're using the chair, what that's going to look like is when it's time to inhale, you'll hold the back of the chair, step towards it, bring the hips towards the chair, lift the heart, tuck the tail. On the exhale, step away from the chair, slide the hands down the back of the chair, maybe letting them rest on the seat or on the legs of the chair, coming into your forward fold. Don't be afraid to keep a bend in your knees, stepping towards the chair as we inhale up. Stepping away from the chair as we exhale forward. Don't be afraid to keep a bend in your knees in your forward folds. That will protect your low back, particularly if you're dealing with herniated disc, spinal stenosis, degenerative disc disease, bulging discs, all of the above, like most of us adults have to deal with at some point or another. That bend in the knees will keep the low back nice and long in your forward fold, allowing you to access the benefits of forward fold without any detriment to your body. So we'll do a couple more of these. Exhaling forward, inhaling, opening up, stretching the psoas, stretching the abdomen, and then next time we exhale forward, let's stay there. So if you're using a chair and you feel safe to do so, you can take your hands off the back of the chair, letting them rest on the shins or above the knees. Let the crown of the head fall towards the ground. Chin tucks towards the chest. And if you feel okay to do this, grab for opposite elbows. From here you can lean forward a little bit on the feet, not so much you fall down. And then maybe lean back on the feet. And then maybe find that spot right in the middle there. Exhaling, forward folding, opening through the hips here. The hips are the highest point of the body. And so we're allowing them to rest open in this forward fold. When you're ready, release the hands. You can either walk the hands back up the chair to come up, or roll all the way up to standing. When you get there, inhale the shoulders up by the ears. Exhale them down by your side. One little quick shake just because. And tree pose, our balancing posture today.
So tree, if you want to have a chair for support or a wall, feel free to have that.
Here it is.
I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you which side to do because we're gonna do both sides. So it doesn't matter which side you do first because you're just gonna do the other side next. So with if you're using a chair or a wall for support, that's gonna put that your standing leg is gonna be the one closest to that.
To the chair or the wall.
For beginning. I like to open up the feet. I like to open up, spread my toes really wide on my standing leg, and then gently place them back on the floor so I have a nice firm base. A couple other things I'm going to do for that is to keep a softness in the knee, so no locking that knee. Let's keep it soft, so protect that knee. Standing up nice and tall here, we're going to turn the
foot that's away from the chair or the wall.
We're going to turn that open from the hip. Not just flipping out the foot, but just open the whole leg from the hip. And then you can bring that foot for starters, we're just going to bring it to the ankle of the standing leg for now.
For now. But because we did this last week, and now we're going to go a little further this week, feel free, if you feel comfortable, to bring the heel just below the knee in that little divot right here before the calf muscle. Let the arch of the foot rest on the calf muscle and let the ball of the foot rest below the calf muscle. You'll find there's a perfect little holder for your foot here in the form of the calf muscle.
Couple of helpful hints for maintaining balance. Pulling everything inwards and upwards, even getting a slight tuck in the tailbone here to sort
possibly
of
engaging you first.
Engaging Mula Bandha to help with that stability.
And if you do engage Mula Bandha, engage it, release the hold, but hold the tallness from it, hold the length.
Another helpful hint is to find something that's in front of you that's not moving and fix your gaze on that, and that can also help with balance as well. And then from here, if you want to experiment with taking your hand off the chair or the wall, if you haven't already done it, you can bring your hands to prayer. Ooh, look at that. Or you can take them down beside you. You can also raise them up overhead. Many options of what you want to do with the hands. If you're doing all of these things and you're like, this is easy peasy, I got this. Is there any way to make this harder? Well, yes, there is. You can try looking up, or you can try closing your eyes, and you will find that will definitely make this a lot more challenging. So.
But the key, as always, no matter where your arms are, no matter whether your eyes are open or closed or where your gaze is lifting through the hips, through the standing leg, but also through the bent leg. Drawing that energy up from the ground. You're rooted here like a tree, but you're also expanding upwards.
And if you have your hands already up, let's bring them the palms to touch, bring them to the heart center, and then you can gently step out of that. Shake out that legs, shake out both legs, especially that standing leg that was doing all the hard work. And we're gonna take this exercise and do it now on the other side. So, same options, spread the feet really wide, spread the toes really wide, so you got a nice firm foundation. So a little bit of softness in the knee. Turn out the opposite leg from the hip, so the whole leg's opening to the side, and then bring that foot to the ankle. Or if you want to go a little further, you can bring it to the calf.
Again, let your foot find that sort of foothold with the calf. So the arch of the foot is on that swell of the calf. The heel is just above the calf. The metatarsal or ball of the foot is just below the calf.
And again, same options with hands. You can have them wherever you like to have them. You can experiment with closing your eyes or looking up. Keeping, again, pulling everything in and up. Tuck in the tailbone. Find a spot that's not moving that you can focus your gaze on. It might help with balancing.
And again, lifting through Mula Bandha, but releasing the Bandha. Don't just hold up. You want there to be some smoothness, some lightness to this without crunching the body's energy.
And when you're ready to come out of this, if you got your hands overhead, you can bring them down to prayer. You step out gently. Again, shake everything off, especially that hard-working standing leg.
And at this point, come back to seated for our subtle practices. So find a comfortable seat. You can sit all the way back in the chair as long as your spine is long. You can let the back of the chair support you. Just keep that long spine. We're going to do our practice of Nadi Shodhana to prepare for meditation, to cleanse the channels, or balance the channels of the energy, I should say. So maybe Brian will teach us really wonderful Nadi Shodhana.
For alternate nostril breathing, the traditional way to do this is you could take your left hand and bring it into Chin Mudra or Dhyana Mudra, either way, and or you can just have it gently in your lap somewhere, just resting. Right hand, pointer finger and middle finger tuck into the palm, and you're going to use the thumb and the ring finger to close alternating nostrils as we go through this. If this gets too crampy on your hand, you can take these two fingers and rest them on the third eye area and do it this way. And then I always give people the option that if it's all just too much and too confusing, you can also just use both hands to close different nostrils as we go through this. So whatever you choose to do, find your comfort. Before we do any alternating of breathing, let's just take a big deep inhale in, big exhale. One more time, big deep inhale, big exhale. Now we're going to close off the right nostril and inhale slowly just through the left nostril. Close both nostrils, retain the breath just for a second. And then exhale only through the right nostril. Then inhaling right. Hold the breath. Exhale left. So that's one full round. We'll do a few more of those. Inhaling left. Hold the breath. Exhale right. Inhale right. Hold the breath. Exhale left. Inhale left. Retain the breath. Exhale right. Inhale right. Hold the breath. Exhale left. Inhale left. Hold the breath. Exhale right. Inhale right. Hold the breath. Exhale left. And you can bring your hands down. Just breathe normally through both nostrils.
So from here, for our meditation today, we'll do a visualization as well as some breath ratio counting. So you have a few options for your hands. Hands can rest palm face down in your thighs like this, or I'll come close to the camera so you can see what I'm doing. You can try Bhairava or Bhairuvi Mudra. Bhairava is traditionally practiced by men, and that is the right hand rests on top of the left like this and the thumbs touch. Bhairavi is practiced by women. Left hand is on top, thumbs touch. We live in a time where we are going beyond gender, so you choose whichever feels most comfortable for your body today. Another option is this more Tibetan style hand gesture where both hands come into Chin Mudra, and the 3 fingers rest on top of each other like this with the knuckles touching each other like that. So whatever you want to do to hold energy in your lap, in the area, the region of Svadhistana Chakra, it could be Bhairava Mudra or Bhairavi Mudra or this other hand gesture, whatever feels good for you. From here, find your comfortable seat and just begin returning to your Ujjayi breathing, inhaling deeply and exhaling. Even up the length of the inhales and exhales. And so that they are like an unending circle. Maybe inhaling for a count of 3 and exhaling for a count of 3. No pausing in between, just going from inhales to exhales. From here, you can visualize a vast ocean under a deep, dark night sky. Maybe the moon is out and reflects on the ocean, or maybe there is no moon and the stars are all you have lighting the image. Your inhales and exhales are like the ebb and flow of the tides, gently pushing back and forth, swaying side to side. Maybe inhaling now for a count of 4, exhaling for a count of 4 in your Ujjayi breathing. All you see is the vastness of the ocean. You see none of the activity below the surface of the water. It's just water and night. Maybe inhaling now for a count of 5 and exhaling for a count of 5. return it to that night scene over that vast black ocean. And when you're ready, you can allow the breathing to become normal. No need to count anymore. No need to continue Ujjayi breathing. Maybe inhaling, opening the eyes back up. If you like, you can keep them closed. And exhaling. We'll inhale the arms out wide and up, gathering in the energy in Prana Mudra, the gesture of life force. Exhale, palms come together and down. Inhale, arms wide and up. Exhale, pushing the hands down, smoothing the energy of the body. This last time, we'll inhale, arms wide and up. Exhale, palms come into prayer. Hands come down to heart center in Anjali Mudra. The Bija mantra, or the seed sound for Svadhistana Chakra, is Vam, V-A-M, Vam. If you wish to make that sound with us and feel the sort of quality of Vam in the hip region, do a low tone if you like. I'm going to inhale deeply. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Thank you so much for practicing with us today. Namaste.